motion to pay the audited bills. General fund, $29,428.75. Highway, $26,058.39. Water one, $1,503.65. Water two, $796.03. Water three, $702.31. Sewer, $3,400.70. J Playground, $46.62. Wire transfer for a loan, $8,000 for a total of $69,936.45. Anyone care to move that?
I'll move to pay out of the bills.
Moved by Councilman McDonald,
I'll second.
second by Councilwoman Shalton. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries. Need approval for the minutes of the public hearing, November 14th, 2013. Any additions, deletions?
I didn't see anything.
What, didn't you see on the animal control?
Public hearing. we're going.
Oh, the public hearing, no, I didn't.
I'll move to accept them in red.
Moved by Councilman McDonald, second
I'll second.
by Councilwoman Shalton. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carries. Need a motion to set the minutes for November 14th, 2013. Any additions or deletions?
We have,
Tom, you did on, the department head reports, on A, for the dog control, we had one applicant from the town of Jay and 3 applicants from out of town.
Okay, I think something got changed after, let me see. If not, we'll change it.
That was the second page you found.
Where was it, did you say?
second page,
Second page, Tom found that.
department heads, animal control,
Yeah.
And
states
so
that-
what should it say?
well, it may have been read this way at the meeting, B, I don't know, but it's wrong anyway. We
Okay,
had one applicant from the town of Jay and 3 applicants
okay.
from out of town.
We can change that.
I'm good otherwise.
I didn't see anything other than that.
Okay, I don't know. Did someone move that first?
No, we haven't moved it yet. Accept them? No.
I'll move the motion.
Moved by Councilwoman Shalton,
I'll second.
second by Councilman McDonald. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Audience comments. Anybody from the audience? Supervisor report. We have Nathan Bell from AES, make presentation on oil water separator, the highway garage. Nathan, it's all yours.
Sure. I'll just give you a brief update, Tom, on what I spoke to the other councilman about a couple of weeks ago, I guess, with Chris. We completed our report of the project of the contaminated soils that were found. I don't know how much you know about what was discovered.
A little bit.
A little bit. Basically,
This is coming from the floor drains.
floor drain,
Yeah.
right. Back in late September, early October, there was 2 dry wells that were excavated and located by the town. Upon doing so, they found some suspect contaminated soils in there, which we kind of expected, based on all the floor drains discharging out to them. So we notified, and the town notified the DEC to keep them up to date on the situation. They came down, we did some soil testing of the soils that we found. They instructed us to basically excavate the soil around those tanks and remove those tanks, put it in a storage container. And then during that time, we tested the soil right after that was excavated around that area, and it did not show up as being positive in the ground. soils, I believe, have been hauled away that were excavated, to a disposal facility. The DEC has basically, approved everything that's been done to date. They don't feel that any more, remediation is necessary.
Is there certain types of contaminants it was, or a mixture?
It was, basically, diesel fuel and some oils in there as well, some VOCs, that was in the storage container. So the next step, is to basically develop a plan to deal with the floor drain, waste. Currently, the floor drains are capped, outside the building, so any water, or surface, contaminants that were to go in the drain are now just being held inside the piping in the building, in the trench drains.
Oh, so they're not plugged on the inside of the building?
No, they're just plugged, the pipe's plugged as it, exits the building, there's a cap on that.
Right, wouldn't it be wise to cap them inside so there's nothing could go down them and get trapped in
Correct.
it?
Well, they're 60-foot long trench drains, steel grates recessed on the floor. I mean, I guess you could do that. DEC is aware that you've got it capped outside and they're okay with that for now. But what I think they're gonna be looking for next is a plan to deal with the waste in the building. And we issued a report to you, late October of this year, right after we, completed all of the testing and got the results back. And it basically outlines a couple options to deal with the situation. One option being installing a holding tank outside the building, collecting this waste, and having it pumped and hauled away, as needed. Majority of your volume that you're going to develop is gonna be from vehicle washing. We recommend in our report that the drain in the maintenance bay be removed completely, because it's right where they're changing a lot of oil, and there shouldn't really be a lot of snow melt there anyway, or other water, and it's just a point of, more of an area for solid, oils and antifreezes and such to go down the drain. So we recommend that that's filled in. But as for the trench drains in the main vehicle storage bay, that can be dealt with a holding tank. The pluses to that option are it's got the lowest capital cost, probably in the neighborhood of $25,000. However, we checked in with some hauling companies that are certified by the state to haul that waste, and hauling fees range from anywhere from $2 or so to $4 or $5 a gallon. We roughly estimated how much usage you'd have and or volume you'd generate in the winter with vehicle washing, and it could be up to 1,500 gallons a month. So your fees could go from anywhere from $2,000 to $7,000, $8,000 a pump out, depending on the solids in the tank. It varies with weight.
How big a tank would you use?
Probably a 2,000 gallon tank, we would recommend. The second option would be an oil water separator system, which consists of catch basins inside the facility, additional to what's there, to kind of catch more sand. A pump system to pump up and into an above grade separator. Some equalization tanks, secondary and tertiary filtering, which is required by the DEC. It's a sand filter and a carbon filter. And after all that, it has to be discharged to grade based on DEC regs. You cannot discharge it to a septic tank, or you can't discharge it underground. It's gotta be to surface,
The water side of it,
the water side of it.
and where's the other side gotta go? So you still got a pumping cost?
The separator's gonna separate the sludge out. You're gonna have much more water discharge to surface than sludge collected. That would have to be handled just as the other waste is handled.
So would it be less cost because it's less volume?
Correct.
We're not just paying to haul away the water as well.
Correct. That package, we estimated in here is about 100,000. Equipment alone is 35 to 50 for the separators and the pumps, And then there's a 30 or 40,000 or so in labor, plumbing labor.
And what's the lifespan of it?
Probably 20 years. There is maintenance required, and there's an annual speedies permit needed, and permit costs for that annually, and sampling to DEC annually.
Wow. Sampling of the discharge and water side?
Yeah, your discharge out to the outside is actually metered, and you have to log it.
Wow.
Third option would be to take that and couple it with a wash water recycle unit, which would save you on your discharge, but it adds a lot more O&M to your facility to manage a wash water recycle system. I know, speaking to Chris, I guess you guys acquired one from the town of Sable. There's one sitting in the garage now. It's a used piece. However, I mean, a lot of times with wash water recycle, especially with trucks that distribute salt, the salt kills the unit. And a lot of times you have to end up adding a reverse osmosis to it to get rid of the salt before you discharge it. So that's probably another 10,000 above the standard oil water package. We looked into a couple things that when we met a few weeks ago that everyone wanted to learn about and understand. One of those being what's entailed to get a permit if the town were to decide to do it themselves and haul it themselves. I contacted the DEC. Basically, you gotta fill out a couple applications to haul regulated waste. There's an annual fee of about $500 a year to haul regulated waste. It's gotta be transported to a certified facility that can accept it. And I believe the closest facility right now is in Glens Falls. That's where everyone's going with the material.
And what do they do with it, without getting into a?
They put it through a treatment plant. I believe their facility can treat it. I talked to another local company that is looking into getting into that business. He told me that the truck costs can range from $50,000 to $60,000 for a used truck to $180,000 for a new pumper. The permit that's needed to haul this waste is also the same permit that can haul septic systems. And I know you guys are hiring to pump that out. So you could, from what I understand so far, do double duty with it. The only thing we haven't checked is if there's any DOT regs on hauling both. But according to the DEC, you can haul both, according to them,
In the same truck.
in the same truck.
Would the permit be for the individual or the town as a whole?
It would be for the town as a whole if it were.
I'm guessing that whoever was gonna be pumping this would have to be some kind of certified as well, probably.
Right, the permit's per vehicle, I believe. You pay per vehicle. There's insurance required, higher liability insurance, possibly up to $5 million depending on the type of hazardous waste that it is. So we looked into that. And then there was a little bit of a discussion about considering maybe a wash building at the highway garage to wash vehicles. Did a little bit of research. A wash building probably is in a range of $150 to $200 a square foot to construct.
You've still got the same issue.
I still have the same issues. Yeah, exactly.
Sounds like you better just to wash them outdoors.
There's no regulations on that. It's interesting. As soon as you pull the truck in the garage, there's regulations. But if you wash it in the parking lot, it's perfectly fine.
Isn't that something?
So, the next step is to come up with a plan and to present that to DEC for their review and keep them up to speed. They're gonna be expecting probably an answer, in the upcoming months on what you guys are gonna do with it. So they can kind of put some closure to this project.
Is the degradation on town equipment equivalent to what we're gonna be spending on the new stuff? Is it better to let the trucks rot a little bit and deal with that? to spend that kind of money on something like
I mean, you
That
could
would-
do away with our hire crew and hire Steve Fuller to power roads.
Okay.
Well,
I don't know if you have any more questions, I can certainly come back next month, to talk some more if you like.
yeah, that answers
Yeah,
a few
I
of the
think
questions I
that-
had, so.
It's not an easy solution, everything is expensive, every option is
No
got.
matter what you do, everything is expensive.
If you can minimize your washing, we talked a little bit about this before, if you can wash it anywhere else and limit the volume that you have to pump out. So say you're only pumping 2,000 gallons over the winter, that's not a bad plan. That's what a lot of other, garages are doing, is they're pumping it out and dealing with it, washing it outside as much as possible, but it's November, December, January, February, where the trucks are soiled and you wanna preserve them and they need to be washed and too cold out on site. So,
Yeah, but if it gets a 40-degree days, which we do, you can get out there with a steam jenny
Wash it outside.
that.
So if you just filled in those, floor drains with concrete, didn't have floor drains,
Wouldn't need anything.
wouldn't need anything. Okay. Nathan, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, appreciate it, Nathan.
Yeah, it's definitely something we gotta think about.
I guess I'll just keep
Yep.
touching base with Chris and see what else he'd like us to.
He's gonna be out of circulation for a little bit, he's having surgery on the 16th,
Oh.
so
He'll
he'll
be
be out.
moving,
for a
he'll
little
move
bit.
around, he won't be able to sit still.
You're gonna give him a bionic knee,
Oh, jeez.
and he's gonna be a $2 million man.
We're running on real fast.
We're gonna make him keep his phone on him so we can voicemail him.
Nice.
Text and emailing.
I'll continue to put, gather a little bit more information on some of those things, and just let me know if you want to have me come in here again and discuss it.
Okay, you can touch base through me and Chris.
Sure.
I did get the
So
PDF.
I'll try to stay on top of it too, touch base with Chris before he goes in for surgery. And
Okay.
I'll try to stay on top of it, cause we gotta stay on top. DEC is gonna keep on us, so we're gonna have to move on something.
Yeah. I know they can come with pretty good fines.
Being, we've done a report, they've got a copy of the report on our recommendations, so as long as they see you're trying to move forward and be proactive, they typically work with you on it. And I'll give the DEC an update, email, on where we're at, in the next couple of days.
So the old system was basically what, a concrete beehive tank or something that just,
Open bottom,
Yeah.
dry well, basically.
yeah. Well, probably good to go in this day, but. Yeah,
Okay.
It's a lot to think about, trying to figure out which way is the best way to.
yeah, a lot of.
To
Proceed.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of cost with buying a truck and maintaining that truck and getting the permits to haul and.
Yeah, either way you got,
Manpower to send somebody down to Glens Falls.
well,
even if
either
it
way
is-
you go, you got down the road expenses, either
Mhm.
the tank and pumping it, or, even the separator, you've got maintenance and pumping, and
Sure.
Mhm.
not like you're spending the money you want and you're done,
Mm-hmm.
you got a whole.
If it wasn't for going all the way to Glens Falls, I could see the truck, because we could
Yeah.
split the cost with the sewer district and save a lot of money pumping out tanks ourselves and take them into our own
Mhm.
sewer plant.
Yeah, why not?
We save a lot of money that way too,
Sure.
on the sewer district.
There isn't any other third use we could find for it that might make it even more.
Wow,
something that
we
could-
could.
We'll have the
We
town.
may be able to work out a deal with Black Brook, so
I was gonna say,
maybe
maybe
they
one
could
is-
share the cost of the trucks, so they could pump out their tanks, since they share our sewer lagoons,
Yeah.
plant with service, and it saved them some money too.
What are they doing in their garages?
I honestly don't know yet.
I'm not sure.
Right now, they're basically capped off the same thing,
Yeah.
so they've got an issue there too.
So with the separator though, we don't know how much volume that would be, that need to be pumped out, is that correct?
No,
Because we don't know how much oil mixture is in
no, that's more of that's a sludge material that you're gonna get from that versus mainly a water mixture you're gonna get from a storage tank outside. It's mainly wash water, not a lot of concentrated greases and stuff. You'd have to, look at some performance data more closely from the manufacturer on that to give you a volume of sludge you're gonna have, probably in the neighborhood of, maybe 10 gallons a month or something.
the, and so with the separator, we wouldn't be looking at a lot of pumping costs, and it's gonna go for quite a while.
And according to DEC, if you haul less than 500 pounds of regulated waste, you don't need a permit. So you could deal with that yourself, as long as it's less than 500 pounds, which is about 55-gallon drum weight. And costs are obviously controlled and limited when, you're doing less washing. The washing volume is what your flow is coming from.
Yeah.
Because if you look at just snow melt, you're looking at maybe 100 gallons a month or something, 200 gallons a month from snow melt in the trucks, which is really a very small amount.
So what is this separator, the sludge, what does that deposit into? Tank or?
Right.
Filters.
So that couldn't deposit into a 55-gallon drum, and then when it's full, we could put it on a pickup truck and haul it away then?
You basically flush it out of the separator and clean it out of the separator itself.
Oh,
There's some drain ports on it. All the greases flow to the top,
oh, I see.
and you basically remove it that way from the unit
Oh, okay.
in small batches, and then maybe transfer it to a 55-gallon drum over time, and then you have a full drum.
Recycle it into some fuel so we can put it into our cars. Is that right?
So you could scoop it out once a month and go out back and dump it?
And the one that.
All right.
Yeah. Thank you, appreciate you coming in.
Thank you.
Have a good holiday.
You too, happy holidays.
Okay, STAR program. Deadline for the STAR program is December 31st, and only 65% of the eligible Town of Jay residents have signed up so far. So anybody you know that hasn't, you let them know that they only have till December 31st, and they can sign up by either calling 457-2036 or go online www.tax.newyork.gov and
Yeah, it takes
Sign
10
up that way.
takes 10 seconds.
But do you need the STAR code in order to do so?
The other side of the card.
Yep. Everybody received a card. Did you use your code?
Must be, I don't remember, too long ago.
I think if you call, they'll walk you through it.
Yeah. Looks like,
With only 65% of the people that are qualified and eligible have signed up, that's a lot. I hate to
Looks
see
like
them
that's
come
about the case.
January 1st and not get it.
looks like it's about the case across the two counties though.
We'll make it easier to keep that tax increase lower next year.
Yeah.
There's other towns that were fewer people than ours. Some was only 51%, 50%. That's not good. Come the first of the year, they're gonna,
Yep.
We'll be
It'll be
quiet.
belly aching.
You notice they waited until after the election to do that too.
Okay, some good news. NCRC grants were awarded yesterday. Essex County got $7 million. Here in the town of Jay, Hollywood Theater was awarded $70,000 to convert to their digital. And we received $54,000 for Grove Youth Facilities, which is great news. Randy was in Albany yesterday, and got that from the governor. That's great. So
Very
that's
appreciative for
great.
his
That's great
time.
news. And tomorrow, they'll be working, WOC DOT people around here tomorrow, working with Chris. They'll be looking at the drainage in town. They're going to see if they can't fix the drainage here in town. So you'll start seeing some activity with DOT around town here starting tomorrow.
Talking about like storm drain.
Storm drain.
From Main
Storm
Street.
drain, so it doesn't flood the main street.
They haven't worked, a lot of them haven't worked in a long time,
Yeah.
so. And also, starting the 14th, Discovery Channel will be here in town until the 19th. They'll be doing a story on the Carrie Lynn Nixon's case, which is nice.
Mhm.
And Stickney Bridge update, I don't really have anything unless he put it in here and I didn't see it.
I haven't seen anything.
Oh, yeah, this Arch,
But it doesn't say,
it just says it's in
No.
Of,
progressing in construction phase.
Stickney Bridge is progressing, is, which was it, deck. It looks like it'd be 12 to 16 weeks by the looks of it. By the time they fix the new deck for it, it'd be 12 to 16 weeks.
is a temporary bridge is being
No, that's-
installed at
that's-
Bartlett Bridge?
that's-
It's in Keene.
Yeah.
It's in Keene.
And I have a letter from Dr. Bremer. He's going to be closing his private practice in June of 2014, but he's going to maintain his license and would like to be considered as health officer for next year. And we need a resolution if everyone's in support of that. I certainly am. I will make that resolution.
And I'll second that
Second,
resolution.
Will.
Unanimous second?
Unanimous second authorizing Dr. Bremer as our health officer for the next year. With a unanimous second, so motion carries. Actually, we'll do a roll call. Well, we don't really need a roll call. We do a unanimous second on it. And you all have a copy of the letter from White Strait on the Napier property. It's just a lot of information that he sent in to,
For Dan Manning?
yeah, to Dan's info. Correspondence out, there's one that Carol had sent Mr. Quinn on his water sewer billing, been turned over to the county. And that Randy sent Mrs. Casman on the Blackbrook Senior Housing, to see what he could do to help there. One to Val Coolidge, to congratulate her on her recent election victory as tax collector. We need to discuss Tammy Madden's building usage request. She requested several days to use the gym for day use camp. The only dates that we're gonna have available, because school's gonna be out, and that's when all the kids come in and use the gyms, and Randy and Tom and I had talked about it earlier, the only one we're gonna have is 1 week in August available. So, somebody wanna move that as a motion, that that's the only week that we're gonna have available?
Yeah, I'll move that.
Moved by Tom.
I'll second.
Second by Amy, that we'll have 1 week in August available, is the only dates that we're gonna have available, that she'll be able to use that. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, opposed, motion carries. Department head. Okay. Need a motion to accept the following, Town of Jay water turn-on, turn-offs, and their fees to, as presented by DPW, Jesse McDonald. We need a motion for a water turn-off, Barb Smith's 134 J Mountain Road. And a water turn-off, if both water, this is a water turn-off from Heather Morgan for John DeLilio, New York State Route, Route 9N. I need a motion and a second on both
So,
of those.
so one motion, we can do both of them.
Right.
Yes,
Okay, I'll move that.
And I'll second the motion.
motion by Councilman McDonald, second by Councilwoman Shalton. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. I need a blanket resolution for end-of-year transfers. I'll move that. We can do our end-of-the-year transfers.
I'll second it.
Motion made by Councilman Depo, second by Councilman McDonald. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? None? Motion carries. Health insurance memos, to all employees, just a reminder that they have to have them in by, I'm gonna find it here,
So Tuesday, November,
Thursday.
Thursday. That's late.
2 weeks ago, wasn't it? Or-
Yeah.
Yeah, November 21st.
You have the date?
November 21st.
November 21st.
Yeah.
Just a memo that went out to all employees anyway, just to remind everybody. We have a payment plan for one retiree, so she can get caught up on some past due and payments that she has on her insurance plan. It's just a memo that was sent out. Memo, just a note, memo for the board that, Blackbrook will, that we will be billing Blackbrook for sewer lagoon portion of the 250,000 ban that's maxed out. And we received payment from Blackbrook for youth, seniors, nutrition center, community center usage and water bond. We've received that. And correspondence from Sharon Houston, thank you letter from Brian and Peg Lawson. Thank you letter sent out by Sharon to Ardo Monaco Historical Society for donations. And we have, resolution to accept town clerk October report.
November also, I gave you after.
Both
October
times.
and November.
Yeah.
October and November.
I'll make a motion to accept October and November report.
Motion made by Councilman McDonald, I'll second it, second by Councilman Depo, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Codes, Tom just wanted to let us know they reorganized the office, he's catching up on inspections and reports. And he has a new application that he'd like us to adopt and accept. I don't know if it's something you wanna move on tonight, or if you wanna do it at the organizational meeting.
Yeah, that way it'll give Jerry and Randy a chance, I don't know if
Okay,
Randy's had a chance to look at it, but
We'll
Jerry
table
has.
that.
I don't think he's in any hurry for it, right?
No.
DPW, couldn't be here tonight. He'd like us to approve, the sand contract that you all have a copy of with, Woodlands Industries. And that was the, trading of, 3,000 yards of sands for the work, the screening that they did for us, for the 10,000 yards of screening that they did for us.
Yeah, I'll move that. Do we have, is the contract done? I mean,
Yeah, they've already done
Done
it.
that.
done the-
They've
yeah,
already done, they just need the 3,000 yards.
yeah, I'll move that.
Moved by Councilman McDonald,
A second.
Much better
second by
price than paying
Councilwoman
for it.
Shalton.
It's much better than paying for it.
Yeah, it's better than paying the $30,000. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. B, I believe you have bid.
One, I think we just moved it
Okay.
here. They sealed it real well.
I apologize.
Okay. That's one. Milton Cat. $110,000 is the total price.
Need a motion to accept that bid?
I'll move it, accept the bid.
Motion made by Councilman McDonald, do I have a second?
I'll second.
Second by Councilwoman Shalton. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Motion carries. We'll hold off on awarding any bids at this time as per Chris's requests. We'll do that at a later time. Okay, the next
Do we need a
item is,
motion to table it, or no?
We'll table it until, no, I don't think so.
I said we'll just do it at a
Okay.
later time, so.
Okay.
Henry's Trail, workday this Sunday, at the shelter shed from 9 to noon.
Dress warm. It's gonna be cold. Little bit of heat.
They're gonna do
maybe.
it inside, I guess.
Yeah, they're gonna be a little bit of heat, but not a whole lot.
Not long, okay. Streetlight outage report sent to NICEAG. There's a major water break today across from Councilman McDonald's house. I tried to get him to
He's
cap
great,
off his
probably.
line, but they wouldn't do it.
Tom's got that great problem.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
It's all fixed and well. Supervisor Douglas visited the crew. I think Tommy was there today, I was there, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Anyway.
probably should be noted as well, Arch, that Glenn Williams was on a day off. Chris called him and he came in and worked all day. Mark Mundell was also starting his first day of vacation, he came in and spent all day. And,
Working on it.
they had the water off for, which some people might think was a long time, but they had it off for only 3 hours, which I think was pretty,
It was
under
great.
those circumstances, I think it was like,
It
That's
was
cold.
great, because if they'd have seen the water break, they'd
Oh,
have seen
yeah.
that they made excellent time on
had
it.
a
They did a
2-inch
great
hole
job.
inside of the main.
They did a great job.
So to be out in water 3 hours and
I can't say enough about the guys that we have working for us,
Very-
they're
very
dedicated bunch
well.
of guys.
Chris, I asked Chris if he wanted any report, because I knew he wasn't gonna be here. His feeling is it probably would be a water boil until Monday, only because it's a weekend. He wasn't sure if he was gonna get his test in and get it approved to take the boil band off, but just be safe, he's state
go
that it's
through the
probably
weekend.
for Monday, but, and we have plenty of water here if anyone needs any, bottled water, so.
So Tommy, next time you're just gonna pay that tapping fee, right?
Well, I guess I gotta pay my water tax. I didn't mean business when you don't pay your water tax, I'll tell you.
And as I stated earlier, Chris is going in for surgery on the 16th, but there's a plan in place between Chris's clerk, Jesse McDonald, DPW deputy Jody Twigs, and the supervisor's office, and whoever they need to get a hold of, everything will still be running, you'll still be able to get a hold of somebody.
Chris will only be a phone call away.
Actually, to Arch, today when we were sitting with Chris, Bill Scuffler from the town of Wilmington stopped by and mentioned to Chris that when he's down, if there's anything they can do to help out while he's down too, so good to know that town highway guys got throwing each other's back and.
Everybody, we won't have any problem.
No.
Everything will run smooth.
He's been over backwards for us so many times, and
Yep.
Yeah.
earned all the help in now.
No.
That's why we live
Think
in
twice
this,
about that.
no, we live in this community because everybody cares about everybody,
Everybody, yeah, everybody comes together.
no matter what.
Audience comments? I guess Chris, you're.
Come on,
gonna-
Chris, come
I've
on.
been talking all night, so.
You have. You gotta make up for Ray, because Ray's not here, so.
That's right.
Early out, see?
Okay, board comments. Tommy?
I guess the only thing I'd say is wish everybody a Merry Christmas and a healthy and prosperous New Year, and we'll see everybody in next year.
Amy?
I'm gonna say the same thing, Happy New Year's, Merry Christmas, and to a new and a better year next year. And I'd like to say many thanks to the guys, the DPW, for getting that water taken care of so quickly. That's about it. And thanks to Randy for being out there and what he does for the town. It's unreal.
Pretty much on the same lines, I wish everybody a Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. We'll all, hopefully all have a better New Year, I think we will, and see what the new year brings.
Absolutely.
We'll all face it together, whatever it is.
Yep.
We made it through the
We're in
last
it
year,
together.
so.
We're in it together.
And the next meeting will be January 9th, the organizational meeting,
January what?
9th.
9th.
I thought we had one December 27th.
Doesn't say anything about it. Sometimes he does like for
I
end of
think
the
that was
year,
if
but
needed, if we had
If
to
needed?
transfer it or things.
Okay, I know we had that on our schedule,
Yeah,
okay.
but we just did a blanket resolution for transfers. so.
Okay, well, they know how to reach us
I think
anyway.
we got a problem though, how are we gonna adjourn, Jerry's not here.
Hey,
I'll have to fill in for Jerry, you let me know when you're ready, Eric.
you just make a motion to adjourn? Is
I
that what you
did.
said?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll second.
and what's the time? I can't see the clock.
7:45.
7:45.
Wonderful. These should be quick minutes, I do them Monday.
Thank you for coming, Chris.
Oh, no problem.
Yes, thanks for coming and bearing the cold.
Yeah. A long walk back to the cold truck.